Howdy folks, TJ here from Tenkara, USA, announcing the Summer of Satoki. I would do some echoes in the background if I was a good video editor. Satoki. But I'm not going to do that. We're just going to chat about the Satoki today. One of our newest rods that we designed and started selling about a year and a half ago. And it's been doing so well that we thought, hey, it's summertime 2024. Let's chat about Tenkara a little bit and the Satoki, which is quickly becoming a second jack-of-all-trades rod that Tenkara USA offers. Now, what does jack-of-all-trade mean? Well, it means that one rod that you can practically take any place and be able to cover the small stuff, the medium stuff, and the big river stuff, or things a little bit out of the ordinary. It's that flexible of a rod, and that's why we designed it. There's lots of rods that we sell. All of them have their place. All of them are a lot of fun to use. And technically, if you give the rod to the right person, they can take any of these rods to a place and fish and have a good time. What we like about the Satoki is we designed it to be a little bit bigger than our Sato. Our Sato is our first, I would consider, jack-of-all-trades rod in that it was adjustable, 3 different lengths, all very practical lengths, roughly 10.5, 11.5, 12.5 feet. And it is a lot of fun to use. Under 3 ounces, so very lightweight. Sato has been around for 10 years. So the word oki in Japanese means big. And Sato obviously means the Sato rod. So we came up with the name Satoki. Satoki was a many-year in creation. It took a long time for us to say, okay, what can we make that's going to give something of benefit that maybe the rod, for example, the Sato doesn't have, or something a little bit different. We still enjoy the multi-length rods, or zoom rods. They have 2 or 3 different lengths, depending on model, and that lets you fish more areas. Think about it. If you're in a very tight area, taking a 14-foot rod into a very, very tight area might be a little difficult. So having that adjustability, being able to close the rod a little smaller, allows you to hit those smaller spots, medium spots, or bigger spots. So what's a little different about the Satoki compared to our Sato as example? The 2 lower lengths are very similar to Sato, and it gives you a very crisp, lightweight feel as well. So the Satoki, and let me show you the Satoki. If you have not seen the Satoki, we have made videos on this already. We have pictures on our website. The Satoki is a beautiful rod with a very nice foam type handle. Lots of colorful graphics, a lot of fun design, a carbon fiber design that you can see. And when you put this in the sun, it really pops the color of it. It is a wonderful, fun rod. Roughly 3 lengths again. And this time, the lengths are a little bit different than what the Satoki are. So for example, the shortest length on this is 10 foot 8 inches, which is very similar to the Sato when fully down at closed at that shorter position. What's that mean? Well, you can use this Satoki as well, like the Sato, in a little bit smaller area. The line length, you would want to shrink down a little bit. So don't take too long of a line if you're in a really tight spot. And no, you don't always have to get a shorter rod to hit those tight spots. What you do is put the rod at the shorter setting, in this case, 10 foot 8 inches, and then use a shorter line, and it gives you more line management, more line control to hit those tight spots. So you necessarily don't always have to creep down to a very, very small rod. There are times that you do, and therefore having a second rod, if you're going on a long weekend trip, taking one rod only, well, if you're a little bit more of a Clydesdale, a little bit a bull in a china shop, having a secondary rod won't hurt, because if you fall, trip, I do that as I've gotten older. I've broken many of things doing that. It's nice to have a secondary rod. I typically make my secondary rod something opposite of what the main rod is for that day, just so you can hit really tight spots. So as an example, my Rhodo, I take my Rhodo and Satoki with me now. Rhodo for the really tight, small areas, Satoki for everything else. It's a great 1-2 combination. So Satoki, 10 foot, 8 inch length. Use a shorter line. So for example, a level line, about 7-8 feet, and then a short tippet of about 2 feet. meaning the whole line length is a little shorter than the rod fully opened up at that 10 foot 8 inches, which means you can hit those tighter spots. Once you learn the dynamics of how these rods work, you can use them in more places. So 10 foot 8 inches on the shorter spectrum of the Satoki, great for those more tighter areas. If it's really small, tree right here above your head, bushes all around you, then yes, you need to gravitate to a better alternative. And the Rhodo, for example, take a check on our website. The Rhodo is our great small little creek rod. It can be fished as short as 8 foot 10 inches, which means that you basically can get a really short level line in the mix. So 10 foot 8 on the Satoki, good for your typical small spots. What's next? Well, the next length is 12 foot 2 inches. Oh, well, isn't that similar to the Sato fully opened up? The Sato was about 12.5 foot fully opened up. So in the middle position, which one of the things about a triple length rod, sometimes you only use one or two of the lengths because that other length is either in the middle, it's not really universal, but we found that on the 12 foot 2, it is the castability, lightweight, crisp, feels like a Sato, and you can cast it all day. The longer the better, always with Tenkara rods, as long as you got the room around you to work. So what you do is you use it at the 12 foot 2 all day long. It feels light, it feels crisp, and you can fish it that way. If you need to shrink up to the shorter 10 foot 8, you can do that easily. Close one of that zoom segment. If you need to open it up because you're in a big open area or you're hooked into a larger fish, you can open it up to 13 foot 7 inches, which we'll talk about here a little bit more in a moment. But the 12 foot 2 on this is phenomenal. It feels good. It's lightweight, very well balanced. So that 12 foot 2, the most average Tenkara rod length is 12 feet. So a 12 foot 2 that you can cast all day, has good reach, but having that adjustability to go to the shorter length of 10 foot 8, or now I'm in a big open pool, plenty of room around me. The fish is always just a little further out. You know that old story? Oh, the fish was just a little bit out of reach. Well, with this rod, you can open it up to 13 foot 7 inches, which is a very long Tenkara rod. It puts it on par with our Imago, which is a single length rod that's 13.5 foot long, or it puts it on par with our Ito, which is a 2-length rod that you can fish as short as 13 feet or fully opened up for big river stuff or bigger fish stuff at 14.5 feet. With the Satoki, you can open it up to 13 foot 7 inches, which is a great, and it feels nice and balanced as well. Not quite as light and crisp and feeling as the 12 foot 2. Why I said this is one of the first 3-length rods that I've used that feels really good in all 3 lengths, and they're all lengths that I am using as I'm fishing. I fish it all day in 12 foot 2. I shrink it down to 10 foot 8 when I hit the small tight stuff. I open it up to 13 foot 7 inches when I'm in a more open area or I'm maybe going after a little bit bigger fish. The longer leverage of the longer rods makes it easier to typically land a little bit bigger fish. So 13 foot 7 inches fully opened up, which is a good foot longer than the Sato. Now, again, technically, you can take the Sato. It's been around for 10 years. Any place. I've been taking mine all around the United States, fishing every place. That has always been my go-to rod. But this year, it's the summer of Satoki. So I want to use my Satoki more, give it more use, put it into more battles against larger trout, smaller trout, and really get more of a feel than what we've already done in the last number of years, because this rod took us many years to design until we felt it was up to snuff and gave something new and different to our product line. So Summer of Satoki, that's what I'm calling it. I don't know if anybody else will, but I'm going to do it. And it's a fun all around. If you only can get one rod and take it with you, the Satoki is going to become that jack of all trades rod that can pretty much do anything. Small fish, it's great fun. Middle-sized rivers and streams to larger-sized waters and a little bit bigger fish, that 13.5 foot length is going to be a great advantage, great benefit. So Satoki, it's a fun, pretty, lightweight rod, only 3.5 ounces. So fairly lightweight, very crisp at the 12 foot 2. So I like to use mine in the middle position, 12-2 all day long, and shrink or go larger if I need. So that's the Satoki. If you have any questions, always feel welcome to email us at info@tenkarausa.com. Give us a call. We actually have staff here, myself and John, from Monday through Friday. Give us a holler. We love to chat about fly fishing, Tenkara to be specific. And if you have any questions, we're here to help. We continue to tell the story of Tenkara. We hope that you're enjoying your summer. Have a great one. Bye.